would you increase, decrease or leave unchanged stamp duty? Because you might remember what happened 30 seconds after the Labor Party win. I don't know whether you're aware.
Well, it was very quickly after they won and the stamp duty was set that the average price went up, and so everyone was caught with higher stamp duty rates.
Right. But, would you look at indexing? What the industry wants is they want an indexed median price, so you don't get bracket creep in your land tax, in your stamp duty. So would you look at putting the threshold? It's currently at 200,000, and when they set that minutes after they came into government, that was a median price. In other words, the middle price for the whole of South Australia was 180. They set the benchmark at 200. From there, you paid substantially more. Would you look at indexing that trigger point to the median price as it was intended back all those years ago?
Yeah, look, we'll certainly look at it. One of the joys, you said being in opposition's easy and it's easy to make promises, but when you're the opposition that's realistically looking at government, you have to be really careful that you don't just make promises willy-nilly that you can't possibly keep. So we're certainly examining very closely everything that we need to in terms of our tax regimes. We want to bring our whole tax regime, be it land tax, stamp duty, payroll tax, all of the state taxes in this state, they've gone up 61% under the Rand government, and we recognise that it's a disincentive to business, but we can't simply refuse to have the money that's already in the budget and just delete it from the budget in a single fell swoop. So we need to examine how best to accommodate the need to have certainty, and that's a major issue for business. We need to have certainty, we need to have predictability, but we also need to balance the budget because we want to be in government, we don't want to stay in opposition.
You've mentioned the threshold for land tax. Is there any other definites that you've committed to?
Not at this stage. We will be certainly making some very definite announcements prior to the election, which of course is a very short time away because it's only the 20th of March that we have the election coming up, and so we are looking to make some very specific promises, but as I said, we have to be very careful to make sure that we are balancing the budget and not making promises that we can't possibly keep, because you'd be aware that I'm a person who, once I say I'll do something, I intend to do it.
So the Libs are a little bit more guarded about the direction they're taking on stamp duty than they were on land tax, but I think there's a very important point that both you and I, Tim, have discussed offline, and maybe just for the viewers' sake, let's just investigate that a bit.
Sure. Well, look, I mean, my thoughts are that there needs to be a threshold to stamp duty indexed to the median price, whether it's above, below or at. It certainly needs to be indexed there. I think that first home buyers should not have to pay stamp duty at least to that threshold and maybe beyond. And I think that the top end gets clubbed when they have to pay their stamp duty. So what are your thoughts, Anthony? I mean,
well, there was a lot of discussion with the government and the federal land tax review, and I'm actually looking to get some comment from the Labor Party in regards to their view on stamp duty, because there was a feeling that they perhaps should remove it completely and have those funds raised in different areas. The reason for that is people are living in properties that are completely unsuitable for them because of the cost of the moving.
Absolutely.
So what the stamp duty does, it effectively slows down the whole activity in the process of people moving, which if they sped it up, it would increase the number of fridge sales, increase the number of removalists that are involved, and you know, there's a whole microeconomy that's cranked up when people move homes.
And it's a fact that we are one of the highest levels of stamp duty across Australia, which seems to me totally ridiculous for a state that's perhaps smaller than some of the others which need to generate more income.
One of the early features or rewards for putting the Labor government into power, if you remember, was the fact they increased stamp duty almost straight away. And as we mentioned in that interview, it did have an impact. I think that it's a really simple matter and something that would be responsible to get that indexing sorted out, and the challenge that we at TOOP+TOOP put to both governments, or to the government and to the opposition, is sort it out. Get this one fixed and you'll have a lot of people very happy with you. So I think we've done that one to death.
Totally agree with you.
And let's hope we get some outcomes there. Let's go behind the blinds and look at some magic property.